All right.
Hey, hello. This is Nick. This is Paco's Insight. And today we're going to be covering a very unique topic, a very sad topic, which holds a lot of sadness, guilt, and anger in this country and in the communities across this nation. We're going to start looking into the Derek Chauvin trial, as it's something that we find to be pretty interesting. So, this is the second day of it today. Jury's been selected. The first day is already completed. Most of the opening arguments are done. So, Paco, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it can go either way at this point. Trials like this that are highly controversial. It kind of, not to go back in time, but I mean, it's probably, I wouldn't say it's well, maybe it could be as controversial as the OJ trials. Those trials were pretty controversial in its time back then too.
And you think about that, the OJ. You think about the OJ trials. You think about the L.A. riots. You think about the Derek Chauvin trial. You think about the Minneapolis riots and George Floyd and all the cities that were burnt down, the precinct that was burnt down.
Yeah, Minneapolis had its entire police department burned down after that. Yeah,
that's the first thing that comes in my mind is so this guy, if he gets found guilty or not, there's going to be a riot.
There's going to be a lot of residual effects to it. Yeah. It's a very, and that's what we mean by when we say it can go either way. It.
Let's try. Let's get into the video a little bit. But we pretty much can assume that this is going to end pretty poorly. If the guy goes to jail or whatever for life, people will still be pissed.
Yeah.
People will be upset that he didn't get the death penalty, and whatever the case is, he's not getting the death penalty. He'd be lucky if he gets like 15 years or something on this, because they're missing a lot of elements of the crime. But let's get to the video and see what the video is.
Yeah. Oops. It would help if I actually share the screen. There we go. It would help if it gives me with audio.
Come on, Paco.
Sorry, it did that before. For some reason, it's not playing with audio. Is it because this video is down bottom? Here we go.
He just did it right there. You see his foot is on there, his toe is pointed down, and you will see a small gesture in his back foot like this. And that's just the pressure you push more down between his knee, George's head.
Pause it.
And cut off circulation.
Yep.
All right. We'll continue on that.
All right.
I just want to touch on that, what this guy just said here. This guy just said what he observed was the officer's foot move, rotating his knee to cause more tension, is what he's trying to get at. The problem with this type of testimony is that this is just an assumption of what happened. This guy's assumption. He's not an expert witness on the use of force or anything like that. He doesn't, at least to our knowledge, all he did was witness this incident.
Yeah, so he's going based off of what he saw, not off.
He's already saying, this is what I believe happened. This is what I saw that happened. But that doesn't mean you actually know, because you're not a doctor. You're just making an assumption. That's a straight up assumption. That's going to get torn apart later on. And that's the only reason why I wanted to pause it, is because this is potentially going to be a problem for the defense. This little stuff like this. Like, okay, you're not an expert, dude. You're automatically painting the picture of this guy. He twisted his, he's trying to paint that picture. Can we continue, Paco?
Yep.
Oh, pause it again. Mixed martial art. It says he was a mixed martial artist. So see how that automatically changes this whole picture now? If you pull that back up.
Oh, yeah, yep. A mixed martial arts fighter who came up to the scene. Yeah.
So now, we're going to have to get into, is he really a mixed martial artist or whatever the case is? But now you got a martial artist analyzing the scene. So I wish I had read this before I made my last comment, because now maybe this isn't just a dude with an opinion. This is a mixed martial artist who says, if you do this with your leg or your foot, you'll end up with this as a result. So this is actually probably a good witness. Let's continue with this.
Movement there that moves the knee on. And his foot, this time his foot came up off the ground, so no foot on the ground. So all the pressure is on his neck. And you're talking about the foot on the same leg as the knee? Yeah, so correct. So the same foot on the knee. So it's like this is choke here. So this is, for instance, my neck here. And then for me to close this, shimmy, and now I close with choke from the side of him. And just for the record, sorry. Yeah. Just for the record, you're demonstrating with your arms. Yeah, I'm demonstrating with my arms. So let's choke from neck here, and for instance, my neck would be from here, so I would have this across from here, then I'm closing it off here, pretty much the angle of this knee, and then every time I'm shimmying, I'm getting this right here to close the gap closer within my neck, and it's the same way that you can do without having the neck across here.
We heard really from the bystanders, the key bystanders.
All right.
What was he talking about, Patrick?
What, this guy?
Yeah. I didn't see a neck chokehold. Did you see a chokehold?
No, it was his knee on his neck. I think it's just how he was explaining it, because he kind of can't get on the floor and say, "Here, you demonstrate what he was doing and what I'm trying to explain." Because
but he seemed to be demonstrating a chokehold.
Yeah, he was trying to do it like in a shimmy. Yeah, he was kind of explaining it with his. Because I could walk up behind somebody and go like this. That's
Can you pull up a clip of what he's talking about, so that we can look at it, just a picture or something, so that we can kind of get the shimmy he's trying to explain, right? The article's about Chauvin uses a shimmy to intentionally choke or cut the oxygen off to George Floyd. So we need to be able to see, like, what is this shimmy, or is he able to shimmy, and what would the shimmy actually do? I'm trying to picture that in my head to the best of but all I kind of saw was a chokehold, which I know what a chokehold is.
Yeah, let's see if I can find like a picture.
Do you know if they put him in a chokehold prior to getting him on the ground?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
All right, here's a decent picture of so this picture. By the way, guys, if you're don't like seeing this type of stuff, you might want to fast forward through this, because me and Nick are going to be taking a look at a picture to try and get a little bit of an understanding of that little shimmy. So kind of seems like maybe what he was talking about is he kept shimmying his knee for better leverage. It's kind of hard to see where this leg is, but you can clearly see this knee is right on his neck. So,
all right. So I'm looking at this. I just wanted to look at this. Did that look like a chokehold to you?
No.
Right. For this to be a chokehold, wouldn't the neck have to be on the other side of his leg and thigh for him to be choked out that way?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is a reasonable use of force. Okay. This is unreasonable. But at this point in time, and this is what's going to happen in court. So I don't want you to be so shocked when you hear this come out. At this point in time, they're trying to gain compliance. Okay, they know they can't gain control, right? They're just trying to gain some type of control of the situation. They might not be able to gain complete compliance, but I look at that picture and I don't think chokehold. I just think they're trying to apply handcuffs. You see his right You
Yeah,
see
and
George
you
Floyd's
also
right
see the
hand,
officer behind him. He looks
know.
like he's trying to get control of this arm right here too.
Yeah, this is simply trying to be a handcuff. So whenever they start the clock on this as being, sort of excessive, I know that they have a certain, they choked him out for like 5 minutes or 8 minutes or something like that.
Which
But I
think
will
is
say
like
that
9.5 minutes. Yeah.
that's not a choke,
No.
in my opinion. And, that doesn't look like a choke. It looks uncomfortable, but I wouldn't say that's like I'm purposely trying to choke you. I think they're just trying to handcuff him. But
And let the record
definitely,
state, and I know me and Nick haven't touched base really on this since we started talking about this, is George Floyd was under the influence of fentanyl. He was under the influence of drugs.
they talk about that. They talk about that in this trial. In the
And they
opening
talk about that in the
argument.
trial too, but it's just something, like I said, me and Nick haven't talked about yet. But yes, he was under the influence of fentanyl, and certain drugs make you strong as heck, I mean, different drugs do different things.
I think that we have to, well, not have to, but I'm trying to give Chauvin the benefit of the doubt because no one else is.
Yeah.
Okay, at least not that I know. Every cop that I know, everybody that I know says this is all bad. There's no good in this. And I respect that opinion, and I do agree with it, but I want to just for a second give this a second look over to try and see what he was thinking at the time of this incident, because I don't believe that Officer Chauvin was like a dirty cop. And if he was a dirty cop, then this is such a weird way to encounter somebody. If you think that he wanted to encounter somebody and cause them to die, you're wrong. So I wish, can you pull up the video of the whole use of force, the body cam, and we can kind of break that down?
Yep.
Because this is going to turn into a little series, and we just figured it out right now. Because we wanted to talk about the trial, but at the same rate, there's a lot of meat that needs to be kind of brought in. This is going to be like a part one, just so that we have a good basis. If we watch the videos together, we can kind of see.
You want the body cam footage, right?
Right. I just want to kind of see what was this guy thinking. What was Chauvin thinking? Because I believe he didn't go into it and say, I want to do choke somebody out. But I also want to see what he did do. It's possible that he did go in there and say, you know what?
All right, let's see. All right, yep. Hold on one sec. Yep. All right.
It should be known I haven't even watched this video because I heard it's pretty disturbing. So
yeah, it's 14 minutes long.
Let's try and let's get like some of the initials.
All right, so I'm gonna show right from the point where they're yanking Mr. Floyd out of the cruiser, where Derek Chauvin and another officer are taking him out of the cruiser and putting him on the ground. I'll show from that.
It's handcuffed. Is he handcuffed, Patrick?
Looks like it, yes.
Yeah, he looks handcuffed. So that's the chokehold. Yep, that's a chokehold.
All right, he just released a chokehold on him.
What's going on? Let's take him out and see. Please, man. I can't fucking breathe. Come on out. He's just thank you. Lay him. Yeah, just so we get on the ground. I appreciate that. You can't breathe, man. Man, you worry. Right. That's your yes, that one. breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Not moving. Mama. Mama. Yeah. Mama. 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 Mama.
What's he saying?
He's saying
He's saying-
mama.
Oh, he's saying mama. Okay.
Yeah, he's calling for his mother.
Looks like this cop's trying to get his Rolos out. He's trying to get his sweet tots on. I'm going to have some Jolly Ranchers as this guy's getting choked out.
Oh.
That's what that looks like the cop is doing here with the body cam.
I know this cop right now is not doing any. I don't even know what he's really looking for. Like, what is he trying to get?
He's going into his duty bag to get Jolly Ranchers.
I can't do nothing. My face is gone.
Now, I'm gonna pause the video real quick. Why, if he's already handcuffed and on the ground, is there still a need for his knee to be on his neck? If he's already restrained, if he's already handcuffed behind the back.
None.
So after seeing this video, it kind of gives if he's already handcuffed, I mean, they could have brought him down to the ground.
All right. Here's the problem.
You know,
He's handcuffed. When he's in the back of the cruiser, he's secured.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We already saw that.
Yep.
But he probably wasn't searched. Okay? So now they had the initial interaction with him, and at this point they find maybe some reason to believe that it's more than whatever they're called there for. So they want to pull him out. They want to search him for his own safety and for their own safety before they transport him in a cruiser and he's got a gun or something. At the same time, the issue here that I am seeing is he is handcuffed. You don't really need to have your knee on him. It's a bad look. There's really nothing you can do to defend it at this point. It shouldn't have his knee on the guy. He is handcuffed. If I was, on hindsight, maybe put some leg irons on him and just kind of keep him pressed up against the cruiser, but don't put your knee on his neck. It's not like the situation I don't think calls for that. It's a bad look. And like I said, I haven't seen the video. I didn't know he was handcuffed. A lot of these things I didn't know, but now I'm
and before, like I said, before we really get into it, all of this is, speculation. We weren't there. I haven't personally seen I've seen, bits and pieces of it. I haven't seen the full body cam footage myself. Like Nick said, I didn't realize he was handcuffed. I thought they put him in the back of the cruiser and, maybe he was being belligerent and that's why they took him out of the cruiser. I didn't realize he was handcuffed, So, this all sheds, more light to the story, so.
Please let me stand. Please, man, can't breathe.
You get off the sidewalk, please. One side, please.
My face still bad. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, 50. Oh. Look at my face, man. Please. Please. Please, I can't breathe. Please, man. Please, I'm right here.
Code 3.
All right, Paco. I'm definitely getting a pretty good idea of what this is. Seems like this guy is just going to go on and on.
Yeah.
It's just going to continue to go on and on with the neck thing, and it's bad.
Yeah.
It's already bad. It's already been too long to be on that guy's neck. It's
Yeah,
just it's a
And
tough video.
when we started that video, we started it like a minute in, and when we ended that video, we were already like 5 minutes in. So that's already like 3 minutes of being on that guy's neck.
It's
He was
just a
on
lot.
his guy, and he was on that guy's neck for a total of 9 minutes. He didn't get off his neck until EMS showed up. And there was actually a nurse on scene. There was actually an off-duty nurse that was a bystander. That was actually, trying to tell the cop, hey, he can't breathe, get off his neck, and,
It's
But
bad.
yeah, it's no. The minute Derek Chauvin got on his neck, it was over. It was a bad rap.
All right. Well, I think there's a bigger issue here. These cops are so chill at this situation, like it's supposed to go down that way or something.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, like that cop's body camera that we were just watching. Like Nick was referring to it, he was going through his trunk like he was looking for his hidden pack of Jolly Ranchers. He's just like,
going
hold
through
on.
his duty bag, and he was like, you know what I really want? Some Kit-Kats.
He's like, you know what I really want? Some sour apple Jolly Ranchers. Nope, they're not in this bag. Hold on, let me.
Did I leave my root beer in here?
And then he goes to the front of the car and he's like, hold on, let me make sure the emergency lights are on. Boop. Hold on, let me take. He's like, oh, I found my coffee. Yeah. Now, we're not trying to. I guess we are kind of trying to rip on these officers because nobody stepped up, actually. I mean, and that's another thing that a lot of people are mad about those 4 other officers that were there. Well, yes, 4 other. Was it 4? I think it was 3 other. It doesn't matter, but nobody stepped in. Nobody stepped in, and it was literally like Nick said. It was like this was meant like before they went to the call, they were all like, I'm going to get on this guy's neck. You guys are just going to watch me and help me, but don't get in my way. And
my thing is, we'd have to check out what the status is of the training. What kind of curriculum are they taught where they can put their knees on anybody's back or anything like that? What they consider soft areas and target areas and all this stuff. We'd need to know what that is because
Derek Chauvin went for that classic NYPD chokehold, but with his knee.
All of these cops are there, and all of these cops look almost comfortable in the situation. They certainly don't look like they're worried about what they're doing. They just look like this is every day. So what does the training look like where they think this is okay? And how could they not see once the guy's on the ground handcuffed, you probably should get off his neck and control him another way because you're never going to have full compliance. You're just trying to control him. I think this is a little... I don't know. It's definitely something that's make the trial interesting when you start with this video. You're pretty much set up for a open and shut case.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wanted to have an open mind, but we're watching the video. And as I watch the video, it's kind of not negotiable.
Yeah, and also this bystander video too. And, we're not going to get into all that because, the bystander video is just everybody on scene, telling him that he can't breathe and get off his neck and all this stuff. And we're trying to keep this channel clean, and those videos by the bystanders have a lot of...
I mean, I want to say something too. I want to say this other thing here.
Yeah.
While I don't think this is murder, okay? Because murder requires, you have to have a reason to go kill somebody. Premeditated murder, right?
And plus, he really didn't do it with intent on killing the guy. It kind of just...
Yeah, he just intended on getting the arrest. But as a result of him doing his job, it caused a death. That's like a negligent homicide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he did his job wrong because I'm pretty sure it doesn't say anywhere in his training that he should be using that type of force.
What are the 3 counts he's facing? I know he's facing 3 counts.
He has what's called a murder 3 charge. He has a manslaughter charge, and he has one more charge, but I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, I know he has 3 charges, but I don't know what it is.
I'd like to say also that it's hard to take this video and have any sort of remorse for Chauvin. You know, it's very difficult in that video clip to not see a problem. You know, and I was open-minded coming into it, but the video is pretty damning. You know what I mean? You can't do that. That's not reasonable at all. You're thinking about putting a whole man's weight on somebody's neck is crazy in of its own self.
And you can put your knee in the middle of somebody's back and get the same amount of restraint as you are.
You could use a spit hood if you're worried about him biting or spitting you. You know, like there's other things that could have been done quickly. Yeah. And if you play the video back, spit hood was one of the things I saw in the duty bag of the guy who was looking for his Jolly Ranchers. So I feel like that could have been, my dog's in the background here. I feel like that could have been dealt with a little differently.
Yeah, you know, he could have, like Nick was saying, he could have been like, hold on, I'm going to get the spit hood, put the spit hood over him, lifted him back up, put him back in the cruiser. Done, you know?
Yeah, no spit hood was put on the guy. Instead, he just sat on his neck for 7 minutes. And now, you know, one of the big points is, so if the guy was on fentanyl, heroin, coke, whatever he was on, you can't really put a full man's weight on somebody's neck for a few minutes and expect it to end well. That's just common sense. Once you add the drugs into it, you're really accelerating that process.
Yep.
So this is a tragedy. It really is a tragedy.
Yep.
And I don't think that there's any more for us to see on this. And it's possible that this is going to go into a part 2 when the rest of the trial information comes out.
Yep.
But right on the rip here, this is looking pretty open and shut to me.
Yep.
I'm not seeing a murder charge, but, you know, manslaughter. I'm not even really seeing a manslaughter, but this is definitely a negligent homicide.
Yeah.
And whatever they do to whatever they want to call that, if it is manslaughter, then it is what it is, because he definitely killed that guy and played a huge part in that guy dying just by simply putting his
definitely
neck.
Going to jail. He's definitely going to jail for a negligent homicide, or even, you know, even if they do want to push for like a manslaughter charge, he might get it just based on the jury, most likely. Because
the question is going to be like what the sentencing is going to be, because he's definitely guilty. If he's not guilty, something happened. Like I'm missing a lot of information, you know. But assuming he's going to be guilty just based on this video alone, he's going to be in jail for a while. He's probably going to get the maximum time on whatever it is. So if it's manslaughter and, you know, let's say 50 years is the max or something, he's going to get 50 years for sure, because this is a tough video. But I speculate right now he's not going to get more than 20, probably around 15, just because that's the way that it works, you know, right now at this time. And that'll piss a lot of people off. I think he should get smoked because what he did, he should have known better. And that's tough. It's when the sentencing is the hard part in this situation. Thank God I'm not a judge.
Yeah. And he's going to have a real tough time because, you know, especially in jail. I mean, he's not a cop now, but cops don't last well in jail. They don't make it out very good in jail.
Well, they'll find a place for him to go. He's already in a place. He's in a PC camp now or something. So
yeah, he'll probably get protective custody or solitary. Well, not solitary, but protective custody, stuff like that. But
all right, you guys. It seems like we might have gone. We're gonna go over just a tad here, but we just wanted to thank you guys for tuning into Paco's Insight. This is Nick, And we'll see you on the next video.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. And keep it real.
Keep it real.